So you bring up the Flyers. They do win last night. They win in a shootout. They get the 2-1 final score in the shootout. Ivan Fedotov got the start for the Flyers after a brief stint with an injury and question marks around if he could truly serve as an NHL goaltender. He was excellent last night. 22 saves on 23 shots, a 95 save percentage. He became just the second Flyers goalie this season, John, through the first 14 games. Not named, or second time this season where the goaltender not named Sam Ersson had a 900 or better save percentage in any individual game. It's only happened twice in the games that Ersson has not started. So the Flyers win and snap a small losing streak. The Lightning now have a 4-game losing streak after losing to the Flyers last night. Owen Tippett gets the lone regulation goal for the Flyers. And then, of course, they win the shootout.
Yeah.
But
get those wins.
But probably the bigger news in this one, the Flyers win this game, and they're now 5-8-1. The bigger news is that first-round pick and rookie sensation Matvei Michkov was healthy scratched yesterday by John Tortorella. And I know it had social media up in arms, and there were some people that were staunchly defending the move because Michkov's time on the ice had dwindled over the last couple of days. He's kind of really struggled in 5-on-5 action. Others, I think, look at it and go, you have to let the kid play through some struggles. He's 19. He's going to have gaps in his game because he's still a kid and it's his first year in the NHL. He's still transitioning to the league as a pro. Curious your thoughts on the move by John Tortorella to healthy scratch the probably the biggest name on the Flyers right now in Matvei Michkov.
Yeah, I think the natural reaction is, hey, the kid's 19. He learns by being out on the ice. What are you doing? And just to be honest, I don't know the history of Tortorella and young players. I am very much back in on the Flyers for the first time this year than I've been in a really long time. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know all the ins and outs of everything with Tortorella. I was reading Charlie O'Connor on allphly.com, and I'm telling you, you're not going to get better hockey than Bill and Charlie and Broad Street Hockey and the podcast and everything else that they do. But he's writing about it, and he says that this really shouldn't come as much of a surprise. He hasn't been playing a lot 5-on-5. They've been putting him out there for the power play, and this isn't defense. Like, my initial reaction was he must not be playing good defense, or he's not putting effort out there. And Charlie writes this. This is a quote from Tortorella talking about Michkov. He says, "There's going to be some major struggles. We expect that. Where I'm going to have to teach, and in that teaching moment, I'm not going to tell you what that's all about, but if we keep seeing the same mistake and he's just totally not concentrating on a certain part of the game, and I've been very honest with him about that, he's going to miss some ice, and he watched the game." So this is where it's like, okay, you're going to sit, you're going to watch the game, and then does he put him back out there on Saturday when they play? Probably. Right? And then you want to see a response. You want to see him not making the same mistakes that they've been talking about. This kid's 19 years old. So it's not like that anybody shouldn't think that he's going to make mistakes. I have no problem with Tortorella sitting him and saying, hey, and saying this is the teaching point. I mean, ultimately, it's how he responds to it and if he makes improvements in his game. Michkov's going to be here a long time. He's going to obviously be here a lot longer than Tortorella, but I mean, this is an important part of his career where he can get the right coaching to make him improve, to make him that much better of a coach. So I support the decision.
So numerically speaking, Michkov's numbers are good. 10 points in 13 games so far. He's obviously just playing on just under a point per game basis, which is just sensational for a 19-year-old kid. But it is to be pointed out that he has 1 point on the 5-on-5 this year. And this is by the Athletic who brought this portion up. It ties him for 16th on the Flyers in points in 5-on-5 with defenseman Emile Andre and Nick Delorier, who have each only played 6 games this year. So right. I get it. I am for good quality teaching moments. I also think that let me rephrase that. I hope it's not sending a message of you have a very small margin of error before I sit you down. Like, can the two be different? Like, can you say 1 and 2 and they're not? They don't have to. They could be exclusive to each other.
I think it's a great point, and it's less about what happened last night. It's more about going forward, right? Like, is this where he gives him a shift on Saturday and he doesn't like what he sees and he pulls him again and then he's another healthy scratch?
Because that to me is problematic.
You can't do that. No, you can't do that. Managing this player, he is so young and so talented. Managing him and knowing what you can do and what you can't do is important. And that's where I don't know if I trust Tortorella. And I see some people in the chat saying he's making it all about him. I think that's a fair criticism because we've seen him sit guys, scratch guys. By the way, he does this with everybody. So it's not like that people don't look at some of these moves. This is kind of commonplace for him. He's done this quite a bit. Let's see how he reacts to it, because if there's a negative reaction, this is how you also get fired. If your strategy and how you're dealing with this player isn't working and he's regressing, because the skill's there. Tortorella's being paid so he can take that even at 19 years old and build on it. So interesting move. I love it. This is something I can dig my teeth into and I can talk about, because this is a big thing for the Flyers to have a player of this level.